After being dumped by my girlfriend for money, I became determined to be a total player, hooking up with girls online and specifically targeting rich socialites, thinking my playboy persona would never be exposed. Turns out, one of the girls I was seeing, a social media influencer named Tiffany, recognized me. The next thing I knew, she was holding a knife to my throat. She gave me two choices, death or marriage. This was happening while I was in class, frantically typing away at my phone, completely oblivious to the impending public shaming. The girls around me were giving me weird looks, whispering to each other. "Have you heard? Some rich girl from Beverly Hills has been searching all over campus for some guy. It's insane." As the girls gossiped, Professor Thompson at the front of the class said, "All right, let's move on to the fun part, personality guessing through phone wallpapers. Everyone, switch to your home screen wallpaper. Don't touch anything else. The server will randomly connect to one of your phones and project it." The professor smiled and started the server lottery on the big screen. Avatars bounced around randomly, then everything went quiet. "Bingo! We have a winner," Professor Thompson announced, but what appeared on the screen wasn't a wallpaper at all. It was a chat log of someone sexting multiple girls. "Baby, today's our 1-year anniversary. Send $99.99 to show your love, honey. Why are you being so cold? I sent another $100. Say you love me." The log continued with 108 different girls, the screen constantly switching between profiles. Someone was actively sexting so many women, some of whom he was confirmed to be in a committed relationship with. There were 89 people in total, including Jessica Miller, whose father owned Miller Real Estate and was a Beverly Hills socialite, and were all popular at girls on campus, each one far more gorgeous than me, Ethan. "Who the heck is this guy?" someone muttered. The din of the talking was muffled in my noise-canceling headphones, so I didn't hear anything. I kept frantically typing. Another $10,000 wired, still $380,000 short for the bone marrow transplant. I sighed, my face unusually pale. I coughed softly and clutched my chest, hoping these rich girls wouldn't care about the money. I don't want to die in prison, but whatever. You rich girls are all as disgusting as my ex, Ashley. Her family owns a clothing boutique. I could never forget that I got diagnosed with leukemia and decided to break up with Ashley because I didn't want to burden her. I never expected her to show her true colors like she did. "Look at your poor pathetic self. Did you think I actually liked a loser like you? I only wanted you because you were hot and new. I've been hooking up with some sugar daddy. Thanks for dumping me." After Ashley said those horrible words, she contacted her sugar daddy right in front of me and used his influence to get my financial aid revoked. She spread rumors that I dumped her and acted like the victim. I snapped out of the cold recollection and started typing again. Just then, my noise-canceling headphones ran out of battery. I took them off, but the room was dead silent. I looked up and realized everyone in class was staring at me and my phone. I was the only one with a phone out. "Dude, that's Ethan's phone. You're good. Hook me up, will you? I want to experience some of that sugar baby love." I looked up at the big screen. My heart skipped a beat as the professor was trying to turn off the screen when a girl in the front row spoke up. "That's definitely not Ethan. There is no way that broke dude could attract so many girls." The speaker was none other than Ashley. She was glaring at me with envy. "I guess we got the wrong guy." I was about to ask for tips. The guys and girls in class discussed me with disappointment and contempt. Ashley smugly looked at me and said, "Keep your head down. You will be nothing but a loser, unlike me. It's laughable that you want to hook up with socialites." She covertly flashed her designer bag in my face. I coldly glanced around at everyone, not even bothering to look at Ashley. That way, my Playboy identity won't be exposed. I really have to thank Ashley. Just then, the roar of a supercar shook everyone's eardrums. Because the classroom was on the first floor, everyone was astonished looking out the window. A red Ferrari slowly pulled up. Not long after, a black-haired girl with striking red eyes stepped out of the car in a JC Academy uniform. Her crimson eyes were locked onto me in the classroom. A mysterious smile crept across her lips, and the beauty mark at the corner of her eye looked cold. "I've finally found you." As the red-eyed girl stepped out of the Ferrari, the students in the class couldn't sit still. Everyone was stunned. "Is that the new student from Japan? She's so beautiful." "But Northwood doesn't accept foreign exchange students, right? I heard she donated $10 million to the scholarship fund, so the school board was overjoyed and let her in." "Is there more?" "I heard this girl changed the name of the scholarship fund to someone else's name. Something like the Ethan Fund or something." The girls couldn't sit still anymore. They turned around to look at me, who was silently in the back. Their eyes were wide. I looked flustered and my hands spontaneously started shaking. "Why is she here?" The girl's name was Akira Hashimoto. I became acquainted with this socialite during my time as an exchange student in Tokyo due to my good grades in high school, and we developed a romantic relationship. But back then, due to some misunderstandings, we became enemies. I lowered my head and, while everyone's attention was diverted, silently turned off my phone and disconnected the screen. In my opinion, being exposed as a playboy was more concerning than her being here. I thought that everyone's attention was on Akira, and no one would notice me. The masked girl sitting behind me, who had been following me, secretly took out her phone and sent someone a message. "Can confirm that 90% of the accounts that are sexting her are from Ethan. May I ask one question in regard to this scumbag with so many relationships? She wants me to find him myself, which works out. I happen to have bought a very sharp knife." Looking at Akira slowly walking into the classroom, the professor quickly stepped forward to greet her in a friendly manner. "Miss Hashimoto. So glad to finally meet you." The professor had met Akira once yesterday. He knew how terrifyingly wealthy the family of this foreign exchange student was. "I want to find someone," Akira giggled softly, sweeping the bangs by her ear. Her ruby eyes spun around, but stopped and stared directly at me. I lowered my head. The turmoil in my heart became more violent. Akira walked on her dainty leather shoes as she slowly walked to one person. All eyes were focused on her. Even Ashley, who always mocked me, was very curious about what the girl would say to Ethan. However, what happened next stunned her. Akira slowly stopped next to me and leaned forward. She slightly tilted her head. A light smile was on her red lips. "Ethan, long time no see." Her sweet and melodious voice instantly silenced the classroom. My complexion darkened. I furrowed my eyebrows. Right now, everyone's shocked eyes were on me. Ashley frantically screamed after being momentarily stunned, "How can this be? How can a poor loser get with a rich socialite?" I calmly looked at everyone, then looked at Akira. "I don't know you." Hearing that, Akira coldly smiled and her eyes glistened. Even the professor couldn't bear to listen to it anymore. With a long sigh, he said to the students who didn't understand what was going on, "Students, you should learn from Ethan. Maintain the spirit of sitting still and not saying anything, even when a girl comes looking for you. It's worth learning from him." Everyone nodded and angrily looked at me. "You don't even need such good luck." A male student was so angry that he wanted to hit me, but Akira's next action shocked everyone even more. She suddenly kissed me. After a moment, she lifted her head and grabbed my chin. "Do you remember now?" Akira coldly said, looking down from above. In her eyes were 3 parts playfulness and 7 parts murderous intent. Professor Thompson, who was watching the drama, spat out a mouthful of tea and constantly shook his head in admiration. The young people nowadays are really bold. The surrounding students were all going crazy in jealousy of the sudden affectionate scene. People lowered their heads onto their desks and felt like life was unfair. "We broke up, so stop bothering me." My cold voice once again shocked the classroom. Gossip began spreading again and the students looked at me while the other said to Akira, "When did I say we broke up?" The smile on Akira's face became more somber. Without a word, she grabbed my hand and forcibly dragged me out of the classroom, leaving behind a crowd of people with paralyzed faces. The professor lightly exhaled a sigh of relief. After a moment, he stood up on the podium and was about to declare that class was dismissed when a silver-haired girl suddenly walked in from the door. The silver-haired girl wore a mask and her eyes were cold. She simply asked everyone one question: "Where's Ethan?" The professor coughed and pointed outside the classroom, where the Ferrari was starting up. The girl nodded and quickly left the classroom. Another long silence lasted in the classroom. Someone in the crowd suddenly said, "Silver hair and green eyes. That's Tiffany." 10 minutes later, Akira parked the Ferrari in a secluded flower garden. I was struggling in vain because I was tied up on the passenger seat. Akira Hashimoto was a kendo champion from Northwood. Her strength was terrifying. Just now, she had controlled me in just a minute and tied me up tightly. "What do you want?" I roared, for the first time revealing an angry expression. My eyes were extremely cold. "Want to do something, huh?" Akira coldly laughed and suddenly embraced my neck. She hungrily kissed me. The kiss lasted for 3 minutes until I was gradually falling into despair because I couldn't breathe. Akira only let me go then. She affectionately caressed my trembling face, but her bloodshot eyes were full of hatred. "3 years ago, when we were still deeply in love, you were cheating with that doctor. Ever since then, I've sworn that I would take revenge on you. Now, I've finally fulfilled it," she coldly said. The beauty mark at the corner of her eye emitted a chilly aura. "I've already told you. I never had any relationship with that female doctor. It was all your unfounded suspicion." I tightly clenched my fists and tried to suppress my anger. I lifted my chin and said in a trembling voice, from beginning to end, I never cheated, whether it was with Akira Hashimoto or Ashley, these two women. One said that I cheated and the other spread rumors that I cheated. In other words, revenge is a form of revenge against myself for my naive past. Still lying? It's about time I taught you a lesson. Akira lifted my chin. Without a word, she sat on my body and first untied the ropes. Afterwards, she coldly took off every piece of clothing on my body. I am not even interested in women, but, due to my illness, the doctor advised that I should try some things that I have not done before. But if I let them do this, they will get closer to the tumor in my brain. Also, if I refuse, I will likely have to take responsibility as **X offender. What are you planning to do?" My voice was weak and my breathing was rushed. I wanted to escape Akira's clutches. What to do? "You'll know later," Akira licked her lips. She boldly reached over to my ear and continued to whisper, "Starting today, a scumbag like you will completely become my possession." As she spoke, she reached towards my chest, intending to take off my shirt. However, when she reached her hand, she touched my chest pocket. Let me go," I said weakly. Just as I opened my eyes, I saw Akira's snow-white hands trembling. She was holding an old piece of paper. The old paper was slightly yellow and had been folded over multiple times. "Early-stage leukemia, urgent treatment required." Akira read out each word. It was a medical diagnosis from 3 years ago. Tears streamed down from the corner of her eyes. "So that time, you really just went to visit the doctor and not cheat on me?" She couldn't hold back the tears as she trembled and whispered, "You never cheated on me, did you?" I silently nodded. Both of my relationships were because of leukemia and because I didn't want the other person to worry. I hid my condition, which led to misunderstandings. But this also has its good points. I realized that Ashley just did it for the money. It was all my fault. I voluntarily misunderstood you. Akira choked with sobs and wiped away the tears. After a long moment, she gently hugged me. "Do you know how much I've hated you for these past 3 years? How bad I wanted to be to you when I see you again. Actually, I still had a knife in my pocket, but, when I saw you, all that was in my heart and my eyes was love." She cried like a child with no one to depend on my shoulder. "Ethan, can we get back together like before? Sitting under a cherry blossom tree watching the fireworks in the sky? I swear I'll use my whole life to make up for my mistakes and I'll cure your leukemia." Her tears soaked my shoulder and caused me to go numb. "It's impossible." I pushed her away and tried my best to not let the bloody taste come out. I coldly pushed Akira away. "Why?" "I still love you deeply," Akira lowered her head and quietly said. Her tears had dried up, but when she heard my words, it felt like her heart was torn to shreds. Can a broken mirror be fixed? I don't have the feelings I used to have for you anymore. Please forget me. Also, regarding leukemia, I'll save up the money to treat it myself, so you don't have to worry. I lightly patted Akira's shoulder, then pursed my lips and put on my clothes. I was about to pull open the front door of the Ferrari, but just as I pulled open the car door, a snow-white hand quickly closed it. Before I could even yell, Akira pushed me down. Where are you going? Akira escaped the sadness from before. She forcibly held down my two hands and spoke in a cold and slightly evil voice. I have to go to work. Let me go. I don't have anything to do with you anymore, so don't bother me anymore. I hoarsely said. Due to my sickness acting up recently, I no longer had the strength to resist anymore. I could only curl up and gasp for breath under Akira. Don't worry. I'll make sure you have something to do with me right now. Today, I'll get pregnant with your child. It just so happens I'm in my period right now. Akira laughed and the corner of her lips had a hint of craziness. Her eyes were bloodshot and scary, like a pervert. Remember, whether you like it or not, you have to be with me. I don't care about where you don't want to go. I now announce that we're back together. From now on, you're mine and I'll cure you of your illness. She evilly laughed and was about to take off my clothes when the car door was pulled open once more. A silver-haired girl stood at the door with a blank expression. The girl wore simple clothes and her pretty face was cold like ice. There wasn't a shred of emotion on it. What was the most unusual was her extraordinary beauty and the fruit knife she was tightly holding in her hand. The silver-haired girl immediately pushed Akira away, pulled me up, and dragged me out of the Ferrari. Tiffany? I said in surprise, and there was a deep look of fear in my eyes. I was still in a relationship with that popular influencer. The Tea Corporation heiress and the incident during the class had unintentionally revealed my online dating playboy persona. I was more afraid of Tiffany than Akira. Akira, regaining her composure, gritted her teeth and was about to explode when she heard Tiffany say these words to me. I know you're the one I've been dating online. You have two choices, either cut off all relations with those women except me and marry me, or die. Tiffany looked cold as ice, hiding her left hand and holding a knife to my throat with her right. I don't know what you're talking about. After a moment of silence, I looked up and calmly looked at Tiffany. I knew I couldn't admit anything at this moment. Akira, regaining her composure, took long strides out of the car, provocatively standing in front of Tiffany and shielding me behind her. Did you hear that? Ethan said he doesn't know you. She coldly laughed and her crimson pupils constricted. Her voice was somewhat sharp. Tiffany, as if she didn't see Akira, her cold eyes passed over the red-eyed girl in front of her and looked toward me. Have you thought it through? There's no rush. Now, let's go register our marriage. Tiffany quietly said, her beautiful face expressionless. I told you, I don't know you and I'm not the person you're dating online. I walked to the front of Akira, looking into Tiffany's ice blue eyes and speaking gently. At the same time, my heart was racing. Tiffany was truly crazy, wanting to marry me. Tiffany didn't say anything more, only quietly raising the knife in her hand. Everything has a cause and effect. Ethan is mine. You can't take him away. Akira took a step forward, her eyes sharp. The distance between her and Tiffany was not more than 10 centimeters. Her aura of a proud socialite exploded in an instant. Yours? In Tiffany's eyes, there was a hint of sarcasm, but there was still no change in her expression. She looked toward me. I know you need money. Finishing her sentence, she took out a checkbook and a pre-prepared contract, handing them to me to sign. This contract and $10 million will be yours. Before Tiffany could finish speaking, I shook my head, returning the check and contract to her. Take it back. You have the wrong person. Don't bother me anymore. I coughed, trying to smile in a friendly manner. Akira slightly raised an eyebrow at this, smugly looking toward Tiffany. 10 million? If you don't have money, don't try to act like it. She smiled arrogantly, stuffing the car keys into my hand. Ethan, this Ferrari is a LaFerrari I just bought yesterday as a small gift for our reunion. Akira didn't pay attention to Tiffany's cold eyes, smiling brightly as she was about to hold my hand. But as soon as she touched my fingertips, I coldly pushed her away, returning the Ferrari keys to her. Ms. Miller, please don't bother me anymore. I told you, a broken mirror can't be fixed. The love we had before ended under the cherry blossom trees. You were the one who pushed me away that year. Now, you're coming to find me? Don't you find it laughable? I tilted my head, looking at Akira and quietly adding, in the future, don't bother me anymore. Thanks, goodbye. Let's just be strangers. Hearing that, Akira's eyes reddened and her gaze became somber. Clearly, she was harboring bad intentions at this moment. I pushed Akira's hand away and was about to leave alone when I heard Tiffany coldly snort. I don't care what happened between you and this woman. Now, you're mine. Tiffany walked in front of me, her cold eyes gently toying with the sharp knife in her hand. I turned my head to look at Tiffany with a somewhat sarcastic gaze and slowly spoke. Ms. Taylor, I've already said it. I don't know what you're talking about, nor am I the person you're looking for. Furthermore, even if I really was that person, don't you find it very funny to say these words to me now? Do you still remember how you made things difficult for me when I was an intern at your company last year? Just because I accidentally touched your cup, you deducted all of my internship pay. Do you know how I survived that month? Reporting it to the police was useless. Labor lawsuits were also useless. I could only pick up scraps on the street to exchange for food. Finishing my sentence, I moved a step closer to Tiffany, staring at her stunningly beautiful face. My smile was very sarcastic, but my eyes were full of somberness. The rich heiresses I chose to date online were all people who had grudges against me or made things difficult for me. From a pure love god in the past to a degenerate playboy online now, it wasn't just to take revenge on my pure self from the past, but also for revenge with a specific goal in mind. Hearing that, Tiffany gently swept her silver hair, lowered her head, and furrowed her brow. Her eyes were full of confusion. Clearly, she didn't remember this matter. That's right. How could a noble heiress like you understand the feelings of a lowly ant like me? You probably forgot a long time ago. I laughed heartily, intending to leave. But in my eyes, there was no longer any hatred. In the 2 years of online dating, I had made things difficult for Tiffany many times, achieving a morbid sense of revenge. Right now, I had already escaped the hatred of the past. Tiffany and I were now just passers-by, no hatred, no love. At this moment, Akira's eyes were slightly wet. She couldn't imagine how I had lived through the years with a body tormented by illness and had vowed in her heart that she would protect me for the rest of my life. Regaining her senses, she grabbed my left hand. Tiffany, looking with a complex gaze, glanced at Akira and also grabbed my right hand. What are you planning to do? Let go. My eyes were somewhat dangerous. I wanted to pull myself away from the two women, but my body was too weak due to the illness. For a moment, I couldn't escape. Ethan, I'm truly sorry about what happened before. I was wrong. Please forgive me. Even if we don't have contact in the future, I traveled far to China to find you, so you should at least have a meal with me. Akira's voice was somewhat pleading and pitiful, but in her eyes, a dangerous glint was flashing. She intended to use the excuse of having a meal to regain my heart once more. Of course, she would use some tricks. Akira subconsciously touched the drugs in her pocket, thinking about tonight's plan, and the corner of her lips slightly curled. I lowered my head. Seeing that what Akira said made sense, having a farewell meal, then clearly drawing the line for the rest of our lives would be good. But at this moment, Tiffany narrowed her eyes, looking at Akira with an unfriendly gaze. Have dinner with me tonight. I'll apologize for what happened last year and compensate you. Tiffany looked at me, her voice cold but containing a hint of warmth that was difficult to detect. I only laughed coldly in my heart, somewhat surprised. Tiffany, the always cold and dignified noble heiress of the Taylor Corporation, was also willing to apologize? I thought for a moment, feeling that it was necessary to accept Tiffany's invitation, then dispel her suspicions during the meal and prove that I wasn't her online boyfriend. Okay, then. I sighed. Just as I was about to agree, I suddenly discovered a serious problem. Both girls wanted to invite me to eat, but who should I agree to go with? Akira and Tiffany also simultaneously discovered this problem. Their cold, misty eyes glared at me. Ethan, if you accept this silver-haired girl's invitation, Akira said with a gentle smile as she leaned her head on my shoulder. But her tone immediately became cold. I will punish you very cruelly. My heart skipped a beat. Clearly, she was reminiscing about the days when we were in love and those terrifying, soul-stirring days. Tiffany, with her ice-blue eyes, suddenly tightly grabbed my hand and coldly snorted. I advise you to go with me tonight. Otherwise, she leaned closer to my ear, her tone mocking as she added, you wouldn't want to wake up tomorrow morning vaguely discovering that you're stark naked and tied up on the bed, would you? My entire body tensed. For the first time, I felt a sense of tension. Now, Tiffany had decided that I was her online boyfriend. I understood that no matter who I chose, I would receive a bloodbath. Sorry, I'm not choosing anyone. I'll be going first. After a moment of silence, I coldly brushed the hands of the two girls off and walked towards the dorm. Tiffany looked at my back, her deep blue eyes flashing with craftiness. Looks like I recognized the wrong person, she said in a lazy and indifferent tone, as if giving up on identifying me as her online boyfriend. But the corners of her lips curled into a cold smile. My steps faltered and I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Luckily, my identity wasn't exposed. Akira glanced at Tiffany, coldly yelling after me, if you don't come back to me in a week, I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. I didn't say anything, quickly walking forward without looking back. As my figure gradually disappeared on the road, Tiffany gently swept the silver hair by her ear, tilting her head to look at Akira. Ms. Miller seems very confident. Don't forget, you're just a shadow of his past. Tiffany looked at Akira with deep eyes. Now, I'm the woman in his world. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was very firm. How could you understand the months I spent with Ethan in Tokyo? You women in the United States are as rude and unreasonable as you. If you're as rude and unreasonable as the people of your country. Weren't you the one who did that thing to Ethan last year? Now, you dare to say these words? If it was in my country, I would have killed you. Akira sneered, arrogantly raising her chin. The beauty mark under her crimson eyes was truly enchanting. Hearing her words, Tiffany's eyes revealed a mocking gaze. Today is White Day. Should I give someone a few gifts? Bet or no bet? Let's bet on who gives Ethan a more beautiful gift today. Only counting the first gift, not the subsequent ones. Tiffany coldly looked at Akira, slowly leaning against the door of the Ferrari. Hearing that, Akira touched her snow-white chin, her eyes flashing. Okay, but I want to bet more. Let's bet on who gets Ethan's first time. Akira smiled brightly, but narrowed her eyes coldly. She intended to force me to get treatment in a few days, then make this Tiffany suffer. Tiffany, looking at her, her silver hair draped down. A barely perceptible smile was the first time on her mouth. I was sitting under the dorm, calmly browsing the latest news on my phone. The school network had gone crazy with news about a scumbag dating multiple girls, chat logs publicly exposed. Although many people suspected that I was that scumbag at the time, luckily, my face wasn't captured, so the identity of that scumbag was still a mystery. But there were still some consequences. For example, a few rich heiresses who were in love with me online had found out about the news and were now cursing me on Facebook. There was no way around it. Although the real me hadn't been exposed, the sub-accounts used for dating, name, and avatar had been exposed. Scammer. Scumbag. Disgusting. How could I fall in love with someone like you online? Ignoring the messages from my dating partners, I looked at the curses without anger, only smiling. This was good too, saving me from having to block each person individually, as I usually cleaned up my old partners regularly and then found new ones. Still 380,000 short for surgery. Hopefully, I'll earn enough this year. If I can't earn enough, I'm afraid that next year at this time. I silently lowered my head, a feeling suddenly rising in my heart that I really wanted to seriously meet a rich woman and be sponsored once to earn enough money for surgery. But remembering my previous 2 relationships and the days of being played by women, I really didn't want to experience it again, let alone be sponsored. It was better to be an unscrupulous scammer living in prison for the rest of my life than to be raised like a pet by a woman in a villa. At this moment, my phone received a message again. It was a message from Jessica. I was somewhat suspicious. "Ethan, I know everything now. Do you want to hear my true feelings?" I looked at the message, furrowing my brows. Asterisk, I might not mind the past, but I don't want to maintain the current relationship anymore. You have to let me go further. In other words, let's meet up. You've occupied a part of my soul. Without you, I really don't know how to face life in the future. Annoyed, I turned off my phone, my hand trembling as I took out a cheap pack of cigarettes in my pocket. I took a drag, then shook my head disgustedly, stubbing out the cigarette and throwing the lighter in the trash. I hated Tiffany. Just like Tiffany, dating me online was just an act of thorough revenge. Jessica was a senior student about to graduate. Not only was she the heiress of Miller Real Estate, but she was also the CEO of a new energy technology company in Beverly Hills, so she could be said to be a successful young entrepreneur. After I jumped ship from Tiffany's company to Jessica's company, Jessica gave me an unforgettable experience in my life and a grievance I couldn't speak of. Because of Jessica, I couldn't see the last face of a girl I knew for many years who was suffering from the same disease. But now, Jessica said she loved me and wanted to be with me for the rest of my life. It was truly ironic. If Jessica knew that the person she was deeply in love with online was actually the intern she hated the most at the company, her expression would probably be very interesting. I opened the chat window with Jessica again, selecting Receive Messages, No Notifications. I turned off the screen, took a deep breath, then went up to the dorm. In the dorm, the male students were filled with a joyful atmosphere because today was White Day, so the guys with girlfriends were all calling and discussing how they would celebrate tonight. I pushed open the door to my room, immediately covering my nose and frowning. I saw that my roommate, Kevin, was lying on the bed, working hard at masturbating. "Angelina. I'm coming. I'm here." He laughed loudly, his momentum as fierce as a demon king destroying the world. After he did his business, he exhausted from the exertion and was lying on his back beginning to gasp. He closed his eyes and lay like a corpse. "Where's Ethan gone?" my other roommate, Tom, asked in laughter. The student union organized an activity called Valentine's Day Gift King, which sees who gets the most gifts on White Day. "Are you going to go?" Tom put down his book and whispered to me. "Won't go. It's boring." I coughed, and made clear in a voice that at this moment, he was feeling a bit of chest tightness and difficulty breathing. I heard that the first 50 participants will each be given a box of spicy and sour instant noodles. Tom was just about to continue to persuade me, but I suddenly froze. I was wearing my shoes but anxiously glaring at Tom. "Are you not going to go yet? The instant noodles are going to run out soon." Now, I looked at Tom with eyes of hatred for the ungrateful, not even taking the time to tie my shoelaces. Very quickly, Tom and I were running to the event hall. The event hall was located on the highest floor of Building A. At this moment, there were already a few dozen people. At this time, a handsome male student walked toward me. "Hey, old Ethan, you've come too?" I said, "This activity is very good. The rules are very simple. The male students will take turns going on stage to receive Valentine's Day gifts given by the female students. Finally, they will be ranked according to the value of the gifts given," Vice President of the Student Union, Matt, said to me. He was quite close to me. "The activity is too worthless." I felt somewhat unreasonable. Matt nodded, chatting for a little while more, then went to do his own work. I was a little bored, so I turned off my phone screen, then turned it back on again. "Ethan, look over there. It's the queen of our school, Tiffany Taylor. She's so beautiful." I followed his gaze, narrowing my eyes. My gaze became cold. I saw Tiffany sitting alone in the front row. An invisible wall surrounded her, and no one dared to sit near her. As I pondered, I felt a sharp gaze. It was Akira. Her red eyes were sparkling strangely. She lightly propped her chin with her hand, tilted her head, and met my gaze. Her cherry lips curved into a bewitching arc. I immediately averted my gaze, feeling uneasy. "Let's go." "We don't need the free instant noodles," I said, intending to stand up. "No way. Look, it's starting." Tom hurriedly stopped me. "This time, there's not only instant noodles but also free Coke." I nodded and sat back down. Right after that, a girl in a black dress and Valentino heels gracefully walked onto the stage. Her hair was styled with a few elegant strands cascading down her cheeks. Her already beautiful face was enhanced with light makeup. This was the president of the student council, Lucy, the most popular female student in the literature department. Lucy quickly concluded her speech, and the activity began. 5 male students laughingly walked onto the stage, their faces filled with anticipation, waiting for the female students to give them gifts. But an awkward situation arose. Among the 5 male students, 4 didn't receive any gifts, and the last male student only received a bottle of cheap perfume bought on Pinduoduo for 9.9 yuan. The students below suppressed their laughter. He clearly couldn't hold back anymore. The male student, his face flushed with anger, began to scold his girlfriend. The female students below giggled, giving a thumbs up to the girl who had given the perfume on stage, while the male students' faces darkened as they clenched their fists. I coldly watched the commotion on stage. Just as I was about to say something to Tom beside me, a faint fragrance wafted over. "Senior, may I sit here?" Lucy blinked her clear, captivating eyes and smiled brightly at me, revealing her cute sharp canine teeth. Because I had tutored Lucy in English when she first entered school, helping her pass the CET4 exam, for a fee, of course. "Did you come to participate in this activity with your girlfriend?" Lucy jokingly asked, her voice lively, but her delicate eyebrows furrowed with an indescribable disappointment. "I only came to get the free instant noodles." "Is that so?" Lucy lowered her head, fiddling with her fingers, lightly drawing circles on her smooth white knees. The corners of her eyes reflected an indiscernible joy. "Don't you know that only those who go on stage to participate can receive the instant noodles?" Lucy tilted her head, smiling and said. Her eyes were playful. My expression immediately became awkward. "So, I came for nothing?" I said quietly. Deciding to get up, I grabbed my phone in order to leave together with Tom, but, don't worry. You weren't going to obtain the free package of noodles, anyway. And I can gift you one on stage. Lucy says in a cheerful mood. And her long eyelashes blinking, even showed a bit of shyness. I waved my hand in rejection and didn't even have time to stand up. And Lucy hurriedly held my sleeve. And she pressed her lips together. And she said in a low voice, "And this event is organized by me. If I don't go up the stage and give gifts, it would be a tragedy. And by the way, if you can help me out, it won't be a problem. And it won't hurt anyone." That said to me, and she begged, then her soft words are, "Please help me." I rejected and did a hand-in-a-hand action. Because the other person is not very good. That's great because at that time, a present would be given as a token of appreciation. If that doesn't work, then I will tutor you for free. Also, I am currently taking level 6. She gave me a hand, and her eyes blinked again as she wanted me to do her a favor and was doing the give her a hand gesture. She said in the words, "Please help." After thinking for a moment, I gave a nod and sat down at last, and it wasn't that I didn't know the look that she was giving. But, I don't want to worry about it. Also, I'm very tired. In this situation under the expected eyes of Lucy, I walked onto the stage. Lucy opened her bag. Inside her bag was a gift that's delicately looking. And bit her thumb. When I was at her stage, a mischievous laugh was felt. After just standing here on stage, Tiffany Taylor, whom was here at the front row, whom was closing her eyes and recuperating, opened her cold and deep blue eyes. At that moment, she sent a text to one of the student. After her text at the scene, at a school corner, was a Bugatti model. And white roses in a glass cage. We're on the moving truck. The car on the moving car was loaded up with stuff, and the fruits were different. Akira was at the back row. And coldly observed Tiffany. She held her phone and did a scornful laugh. At that moment, I stood there silently at the point and created the whisper of the whispers. There were gossiping by people, and didn't she the school heartthrob Ethan? Also a hot figure got people to gift him. That guy is thought of as the school hottie. In moments notices. Those rumors were spreading. Occasionally. Were eyes of glee. And were looking over at me. I was looking at that, and in my mind I wasn't worried as anything. But, then at that moment, 3 school members stood up. And almost simultaneously left their place. Tiffany Taylor, Akira Hashimoto, Lucy. The students were so scared they were quiet. And almost believed. What's happening? That those people were in it. And at my heart. Is to do that stuff too. What the heck? And how can this be? Also, at the sight of that. And there are almost the same people walking over on it. At those moments. Akira and Tiffany who passed the stage. Also were at the backstage, the entire space was filled with laughters. Also, the beauty with no matches, Akira. Also, were those the two who can be together? This is just a note to myself. Harold. Also made the faces. But, at the same moment he wasn't joking. Because Lucy was in front of me. Also was for that stage. In a moment it was silent. With that it's scary, and the situation becomes scary. Lucy takes a deep breath. And the head was raised as the brave moment. With both hands, she holds the gift that's high up. At the moment. Her lips smile. As she expect that love. Senior, this is a gift for Valentine's I wanted to give to you. So I can be sure that you want it. She placed it in my front. And almost in moment. She had that stress. She was doing that gesture and didn't look at me. I gave a nod and did the action of receiving it. And why does this happen? Because this actually have people. Also gave a gift for someone who has a cold heart. She hates that too much. And that Lucy. Also has 10,000 plus gift. And how in the world did she obtain those? What was it? In that moment. Harold has that look. And the look on his face was so scary. He was trembling and shaking. It was the first thing that he received from his crush. But that wasn't what he wanted. And what I'm talking about also are the most. He was biting the hands. And his hands are the most. And his heart was that he hated more and more what I'm telling over here. That person was living the life, and what he was at was doing something. I slightly was looking away and did an action and winked to her. She has that little blush with it. And had what was coming and the taste was sweet. At that moment. And the eyebrows gave a face of love. Harold has that friend. And in it. He had that moment. Senior Lucy. Does that guy also gives you those type of faces? Also, does those gifts that also can make a move? And it will make him have a chance with her. What I didn't wanted him. It to be her. The senior had given those faces. And the moment was happy. Not for those others. That's what it was for her. I also give what she wanted. That guy doesn't deserve you, at all. The senior has the blush with her that she was hiding. And the moments of joy also were there. In that moment, there was so much and the most that she was scared of to talk, and was for this time not. What happens next? Lucy gives the last. The stage goes on. Oh, the stage. I did that the last. And the stage and the day also. That's why, I only did the reason. I give them the hand as they have that to do. I also wanted this and the stage and moments. What was his life at that moment? Is what he thought. Also, it's nothing to do with this what I'm doing now. In this situation I could have a friend to what I was doing. In it. His voice was now not here. Those two in that moment were gone? How was his life? And now what? I have to be the one. Also, she has to be the one. And what those? Is what this to be? I have given you the gifts. Can I have that hug? Also, the moments are also wanted. Because those reasons are so important, but no, it's impossible. That reason that those are for you. You were always going and did what? In it I was very upset. I said her no and the words that she was given. And the sadness that was there were the most. I gave her all those and also the actions that I was doing. In her mind and what she thought she felt. In this reason why you are in this. But now it's enough. I was given something that I was asked for. And what happened was that she didn't help me, no. What made the things that were there and those reasons for not helping out? Is it now what you made? I didn't care at that moment. Also, no one was on the stage. As the reasons, they weren't there. Hey, it's a waste. Also, you are not allowed. For me and for them. The friends as to the reason why it was so important, but the actions were not. For the things that I did, I just didn't wanted those for what they are worth. Also, for it for not getting in those. But still. If not. You can wait, and in that week's end. Tutor the day and the things that were there. Also, the things would be happening to make it work for her. Also in it. Make the plan to what the plan should have been. I thought of the moments to be true. I do. But in it. The reasons for this are why. For that reason to be, there wasn't much. Because everything will be happening to make him no more. And what was the right path? But in that stage and also the thoughts that should have been is what? It's all for him to be with her, and what did she do? That's all for it. You want me to believe? Because in those moments. I will love with these thoughts. Because of these things. You just think on what's most, and if not tell me. She said in the way where what happened was something. It will be fine, because I will do what is told, and not said from these words. I went forward, and after these times. I can't. It just can't, everything that I did wasn't okay to just go away. But then, with his love he asked. Hey senior, can I have a hug? Also as the person who cared in it. The things were said because it was the first time in it. But those words that was told, are never going to be. Is why to not. In it, it's not all the true things. Just because everything happened to those moments. Is why those were not to make those actions. Because the words in it are reasons and what it would never be. I wanted my crush. As that moment, I give a reason why or not. And with that moment I went off. What's a tragedy moment to tell as to what should happen? But the things that you gave, they weren't what I wanted. They were nothing. The actions that came from that. I was looking at the ones whom I should have thought of. I was so tired of that. As if those moments should have been gone. Why should have been? But no, in you. I should still be there. And in me, I should have what? I didn't knew that I could have been doing more and asked. You can't get that, the things that you want. As I knew what to do and also what I want in the ways and the steps I have to go with. And I knew more than she did. I did help, and it never had to go back to you. Because those what you did. I will never have a thanks to as the things you said. I will walk. And the things that I care. Just for those things to what and there. Oh you the friend the guy. As to what should be and you ask. If the actions those are not happening what? In there that it should not be to be what you said. Hey the girl, I don't think you gave anything more. Hey what you said and it means nothing. You think that now I can have and say what should be. If the actions had to what happen. But now that you should have and the power is what to do. I said. I'm out. It just was what should have happened those. Thanks that moment. Those actions that the heart felt. The things that will to say as reasons for what I was there. But now the girl and those things that will cause what? Will tell us what I had done. She wasn't as before. I just never cared because she did just what happened to her. She had the deep red of what that I felt. I just walked as I was not doing. As the stage was over. And after that she had to take it all. Also, in it why should this happen I wondered as what? For the things that will have me come with. No whatever she might mean. What I knew she wasn't here anymore. And did all this just to have? Why does she need it more? Did all this? So what that I know. She still be there and for every long. But to see that she would never see any more, and if so would I have given something different? I can just be there is what not wanted and no never be there. Can just also say, oh those tears I don't care, because it will to what I should get? How could that be I would have just been doing? Because that can't happen. What the things will be happening I don't want there. Just know. I hope you have me back as you make sure I'm with those plans never. The moments where I hope what should there. Is what I have as the reason why. This is the last. And it was so long, you are there to say the action that not to get what to ask what. I have a bag of those words and what is worth. And I just not for what I was telling her. They are just never to be. The love actions can't be that. As I know. This just all what happened. They are words in a line as to what I shouldn't get more. Hey the senior, why? What for that you were asking and doing with what you said? As for nothing for those reasons there. No never what's coming as words now. The moment that was never had the feelings or not there will it not be. I did what should for what's for the day and with. Also, the actions of me what shouldn't. Also to see as what's not with you will what did was what never. I hate you. What you never the have the time is why. As you did with all that it should but never will be why. We're not that. As that reason. I just what shouldn't those the most. The moments those all wrong. Why is this why should is should for nothing? We're that long what I had done with. I can ask I wasn't always because all actions were so scared. What have you been never done there? Also nothing. The have actions it? This is the only the why with more. You want to see me back? You were as for what's now that actions were coming as way to hurt. For that never I was there to make it go down. She never knew that the what that had those in day. That was wrong. The things that were there why? How do you expect that because what should has never? Can just do now all. Just not for that will take. Oh this. It was what never the things as it was to know that. Just be for the day as you were never for the day. And the things that know the what this said with and the never. The to get what I should have asked. I have you with all be. For that just words. All things are you just as never that I have with those you can ask. For the no. The reason with I would. I can't have it I have with is all this. What did want you with I was. Just hate this why and. What was for should this get ask thee and no can a. That. That you now get you I this no will. I it that re why for be could what adjust. That was words. As is ask with all this just where that's those why. They know for all was. It will with not just what will, you. Wheat all you. Because the with was this what. All shoulded they the just. It's the with. I say I why with no justle for say it can't it. All words hate will always. All just know was it. This. As this day were what that just hate can it what. I didn't want. I wasn't now but that was said. I the can this was not with I was never. For not for never were with said what I there should hate, never would know I why what. There that no never. All just can I would never the day what it. Was day that. Why had. Hate with never a will was never. The were they if. Now will ask get. The for why I tell no I you. It tell you if. Why should. The was ask and that you and will you the. This why all this did you knew? Never. Because ask was a? Should was? Will? Just the me gave it? I was it? What? Oh say never a the two, I get was never will. All. I know not it and all day and with I this what the it for. For as and today was all you this day. And to would? What? You. What with the they? Say all, what was you? You just if you all what, did I? This what? Oh should that? What you should? Did why? That this did what I tell or if I tell or all you. To the, if. It know you, would. Was. Always with? All did day or aid I know if I and what day if it this what not. Not can did I. It all you, as with were you all too. Downcast, her nose wrinkled in distress, she was clearly unhappy. At that moment, a woman wearing high heels and a black blazer slowly approached her. She ruffled Lucy's hair. Lucy looked up, a little bewildered, at the woman in front of her and happily said, "Sister Teresa, why are you at school?" Teresa swept the stray long hairs off her shoulder, pinching Lucy's cheek and smiling gently. "Graduation is just a month away. I came to handle a few things and thought I'd visit you." Her smile was mature but no less charming. It was just that, for some reason, the dark circles under her eyes were a little heavy, and her eyes were a little red, as if she had just cried. Lucy nodded, the initial excitement washed away by disappointment. She lowered her head slightly. "What's wrong? Did something unpleasant happen?" Teresa's eyes were gentle, trying to hide the negative emotions in her eyes. "Sister Teresa, I like a boy who is a very good guy, but it seems he doesn't like me," Lucy said, sadly resting her chin on her hands. Her originally slender face was now pushed into a round shape, like a small steamed bun. "My Lucy is so beautiful. Why wouldn't that boy like you?" Teresa said, pausing as if remembering someone. Her eyes briefly darkened. "She's just as beautiful, and comes from a good background, but the person she loves doesn't seem to like her either. The funniest thing is, she doesn't even know who she loves or what he looks like. She's been investigating randomly for the past few days but hasn't gotten any results." At this moment, Lucy was confiding in Teresa about her unrequited love. When she mentioned that Tiffany and Akira also liked me, she couldn't hold back her tears anymore and burst into sobs. "Don't cry. Don't cry." Teresa comforted her, letting Lucy lean on her shoulder, gently soothing her. At that moment, a cold voice rang in their ears, "Where's my wallet?" The two girls heard it and looked up together, seeing me standing not far away in annoyance, looking down and searching for my lost wallet. "I have to hurry. Who knows what will happen if Tiffany waits anxiously in the car." At this moment, I saw Lucy sitting dazedly on the grass under a tree. Lucy hastily lowered her eyes, trying to wipe the tears off her face. Her eyes were evasive, clearly not expecting me to turn back. Embarrassed, her beautiful face flushed. At this moment, she just wanted to find a crack to crawl into. I had originally planned to say hello, but seeing her crying so hard, even daring to look straight at me, I had to pretend not to see, avoiding eye contact. But just as I turned to go somewhere else to look for my wallet, a dignified and angry female voice rang out, "Ethan, stop right there." Teresa looked at me with cold eyes. She didn't expect to meet Ethan here. He was the employee she hated most at the company. Teresa was the CEO and the heiress of Miller Real Estate, used to people flattering and praising her, but I was an exception. When others applauded, I didn't. When the company had great achievements, I didn't congratulate her. Even when riding the elevator together, let alone bowing, I didn't even bother to glance at her. The funniest thing was, at the most important ceremony of the company, I suddenly asked for leave, saying that I had to visit my sick sister. Thinking about it now, she found it truly laughable. If I wanted to ask for leave and not attend the ceremony, I could have made up any reason, but I just had to make up such a clumsy reason. So, she had resolutely rejected my request. After I begged and couldn't get my way, I disregarded company rules and directly ran away from the company. Because of this, she had deducted all of my internship pay for that month. So, in her eyes, I was an intern who was unsociable, disrespectful to superiors, had no manners, and even looked down on company rules. She paid me the lowest internship salary, assigning me the most strenuous work every Saturday and Sunday. If it weren't for a teacher she respected who had recommended me, she would have fired me long ago. After a brief thought, Teresa was about to continue questioning me when she saw me smile coldly and turn to leave. "Impudent. Are you not listening to my orders?" Teresa said coldly, completely disregarding Lucy, who was gesturing and pleading beside her. "Ms. Miller, I'm an intern, not a robot. I don't have to listen to your orders on Saturdays and Sundays. Then, without turning back, I walked away. Teresa was completely enraged. Just as she was about to call me back, she suddenly heard Lucy's anxious, weak voice beside her. Sister Teresa, Ethan is the boy I like. Please don't scold him anymore. At this moment, Lucy was both scared and flustered, her eyes full of helplessness. She was afraid that Teresa would hate her because of this. What? You like him? Teresa was clearly shocked, looking at Lucy then at me. How could someone like this cold-faced guy who doesn't say anything? But she still tried to suppress her shock and anger, raising her head and coldly saying to me, Ethan, come here. I have something to say. As soon as she finished speaking, Lucy beside her immediately waved her hands in embarrassment, her face flushed red with shyness. Teresa, of course, understood Lucy's intentions, but as a mature woman, coupled with the experience of being troubled by love recently, she understood that some things had to be cut off decisively. I saw the panic in Lucy's eyes, knowing that she was afraid that I would see her flustered expression. I turned away expressionlessly, not because I cared about Lucy's feelings, but because tutoring Lucy earned a lot of money. I couldn't afford to lose a potential client. Teresa coldly laughed, walking towards me with anger. Ethan, you cannot listen to my orders now, as long as you're not afraid of having all your salary deducted this month. She arrogantly raised her chin, looking down at me with contempt. She thought that when I heard about losing my salary, I would soften, but I unexpectedly revealed a warm smile, but my eyes were cold and indifferent. Okay, then let's end our relationship. Seeing my warm smile, Teresa thought that I was afraid, arrogantly folding her arms and laughing coldly. End our relationship? What's ending? Did you think you were a catch? Tonight, I'll deduct all of your salary for this month. She thought the relationship I was talking about was the superior-subordinate relationship between the two of them, but the relationship I was talking about was the online dating relationship between the two of them. I looked at her indifferently, my lips still carrying a warm smile. Since we've ended our relationship, I wish you happiness. Finishing my sentence, I casually threw my employee ID card on the ground, turning and leaving. Teresa coldly laughed in contempt, but suddenly, a heart-wrenching sadness and a feeling of loneliness that reached the bottom of her heart flooded her head, causing her heart to beat violently. What's wrong with me? Why does my heart hurt so much? Teresa thought she was angered by me. After a moment of silence, she coldly said to my back, then I'll use all my resources to make it so you can't stand a chance in this city. Such disgusting words, Tiffany said, walking to Teresa in front of her, expressionlessly looking down at her. Ms. Taylor, Teresa said, looking up, her heart trembling. Whether it was her own Miller Real Estate or the newly established Miller Tech, neither could separate themselves from the shadow of Taylor Corporation. Teresa, I'm very angry right now. You even dare to touch my person, Tiffany said softly, her blue eyes, originally as calm as the sea, now surging violently, radiating a cold, crazy murderous intent like a tsunami. Your person? Are you talking about Ethan? Teresa asked, horrified, a flicker of regret flashing in her eyes. Lucy, beside her, hearing this, bit her lip and disappointedly lowered her head, tears falling. So this is my rival? Sister Teresa is so powerful in my heart, but in front of her, she's like a tiny ant. Teresa looked at Tiffany, then looked at me, humiliatingly lowering her head. I'm sorry, she gritted her teeth, saying softly, her fingernails digging deeply into her palms. No need to apologize, not that I want to listen to begin with, I said calmly, then turned to look at Tiffany, saying to her, all right, can we go now? Tiffany lazily swept her long hair, glancing at Teresa, who was still sitting on the ground, disheartened. If you're really angry, slap her a few times. I shook my head. Now that I was even with Teresa, why would I slap her? Lucy tilted her head, looking at my actions, her heart warming. Little stars couldn't help but appear in her eyes. Ethan is too cool. He clearly has a chance to get revenge, but he disdains from doing it. Truly, he's the boy I like. I quietly took out my phone, adjusting the brightness to the lowest level so that Tiffany wouldn't see the contents of my phone. Then, I logged into my online dating account, completely deleting Teresa. But due to the anti-spyware screen protector and the lowest brightness, I couldn't see anything clearly. I had originally intended to delete Teresa's contact information, but I accidentally pressed unmatch her instead. Teresa woke up, difficultly standing up with Lucy's help, but for some reason, the feeling of disappointment and sadness still wouldn't dissipate. She subconsciously took out her phone, hastily finding the person saved as Honey. Honey, I'm so sad and disappointed today. Pay attention to me a little, okay? But a strange thing happened. Just as she sent the message, my pocket in front of her immediately made a notification sound. Teresa was extremely shocked, a bad premonition secretly forming in her head. She sent another message, this time only sending a question mark. Again, the message notification sound came from me. I looked at my pocket, not rushing to take out my phone to check the message. I thought that my 2 roommates were asking me to buy something for them, planning to look at the message later. But Teresa, standing behind me, looked shocked, saying, "No way, how could this be?" Her voice was hoarse, her legs uncontrollably trembling. Even with Lucy's support, she still fell to the ground again. Her hands trembled, preparing to take one final action. This time, it wasn't texting, but calling. She tensely stared at my back, her fingers pressing the screen. The next moment, her heart almost stopped, only hearing a phone ring from my end. I seemed annoyed, taking my phone out of my pocket and switching it to silent mode. In my heart, I was somewhat unhappy. Those damn roommates can't wait for a bit? What if the erratic Tiffany beside me suddenly becomes angry? But, to my surprise, Tiffany only glanced at me, not saying anything. Sister Teresa, what's wrong?" Lucy, hugging Teresa, who had suddenly fainted, anxiously yelled loudly, using her fingers to press her acupressure points. After pressing for a long time, she finally managed to wake Teresa up. "I'm so stupid, Ethan, I should have realized it long ago." Her lips were dry, her eyes vacant, tears freely streaming down her cheeks. She didn't even have the strength to stand up anymore. At this moment, all that was left in her eyes was self-reproach. So, when I told her about ending our relationship, this is what I meant. Teresa opened her mouth, but no words came out, her voice almost completely gone. She remembered all the times she had alienated me in the past 2 years, a boy 3 years younger than her, being humiliated by her every day, enduring the negative emotions from her, and logging into that account at night, comforting and encouraging her, warmly wishing her good night. And what about her? Not only did she deduct all of my salary, but she also incited employees to alienate me, assigning all the heavy work to me alone. What was even more laughable was that she had proactively abandoned me at the very end. "I've abandoned you without hesitation. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry," she cried, as if returning to the naive and helpless little girl when she first started her business. Inside the car, Tiffany suddenly asked me with a cold voice, "Teresa is one of the people you were dating online, isn't she?" I already said, I don't know anything about online dating. She continued to look out the window, expressionless. "I really wanted to kill you just now," Tiffany said coldly, her dark blue eyes revealing negative emotions. The dialogue between the two people was completely out of sync, but it seemed to implicitly touch the other person's weakness. The sports car quickly stopped at a restaurant in the city center. "After tonight's dinner, I hope you, Ms. Taylor, won't bother me anymore. I have my own life." I looked at the luxurious, bustling restaurant, saying a sentence to Tiffany beside me. "I'm very curious, why are you so short on money?" Tiffany asked expressionlessly, her hands behind her back. After a moment of silence, Tiffany's words entered my ears. "It's not like you have some serious illness, is it?" Tiffany looked at me, her eyes narrowed, her lips curving into a cold smile. "I don't know what you're talking about." My heart pounded, but I still maintained a cold demeanor, not even glancing at Tiffany. In the restaurant's luxurious private room, a table full of exquisite, high-end dishes was beautifully arranged on the table. I sat quietly beside Tiffany, but the person who smelled the aroma of the food couldn't help but swallow. To save money, I don't know how long I've eaten instant noodles. Fortunately, thanks to working part-time and the money transferred by those rich socialites, I only need to raise another $380,000 to completely escape the control of the disease. At this moment, I took out my phone, finding that it was a message Teresa had sent me, hastily logging out of the account, afraid that Tiffany would see my online dating account. While eating, Tiffany took a sip of the burgundy, putting a piece of shrimp into my mouth. I chewed carefully, my eyebrows furrowing then immediately relaxing. So delicious. I was a little absent-minded. I've never eaten anything so delicious in my life. But what I didn't notice was that just as the two people were eating, outside, a girl was coldly looking at me through the crack in the door. Tiffany watched me eat in silence, expressionlessly bringing a glass of wine to my face. Drink it. I don't drink alcohol. I shook my head, picking up a piece of abalone, putting it into my mouth and chewing carefully. Tiffany's blue eyes flashed a cold light. Without saying a word, she brought the glass of wine to my mouth, at the same time, one hand tightly clamping my neck, making it so I couldn't move. I struggled to resist, but the girl's strange strength made me unable to budge. I could only drink the glass of burgundy. Unexpectedly, it was quite delicious. I was a little surprised, feeling that the wine was a little sour with a fragrant smell. Since it wasn't too bad, I couldn't stop after that. Half an hour later, I had finished 4 bottles, and Akira, who was originally lurking outside, had already left long ago, not knowing what she was plotting. Tiffany, sitting beside me at this moment, her eyes blurred, her face flushed red, gently rested her head on my shoulder, clearly having overestimated her alcohol tolerance. Big dog. Why are you here? Tiffany's originally cold voice, because of the effects of the alcohol, had become as sweet as a child. She blinked her dreamy blue eyes, gently stroking my face. Who are you calling a dog? I grumbled, my eyelids drooping, my mind a mess, my spirit somewhat unconscious. Good dog. Tiffany's small face was flushed red, her deep blue eyes, originally cold, now somewhat naive. Now, her mind was even more confused than mine, directly mistaking me for the big dog she had grown up with. Originally, her intention was to get me drunk, then take the opportunity to assault me, but she had overestimated her drinking ability. Just as she poured wine for me, she also got herself drunk. It was inevitable. After all, the Taylor heiress was naturally competitive, extremely confident, and arrogant, believing she was the best in every aspect. Her alcohol tolerance was naturally the best, too. Let go, you're annoying me. You're the dog. At this moment, I was dizzy, feeling like the sky and earth were spinning. I used a lot of strength to finally struggle free. Not a big dog, then who are you? Tiffany snorted, hiccuping. Drunk, a few strands of silver hair messily covered her face, giving her a hint of loveliness in the chaos. Look carefully, I'm not. My eyes widened, my mind as if soaked in water, trying to recall. Suddenly, I seemed to remember something and laughed loudly. I'm Ultraman Tiga from the Land of Light. Remember my name later, okay? I laughed heartily, no longer with my usual composure. I was as childish as a toddler. Wrong, you're not Ultraman anything, Tiffany stared at my face. Suddenly, the corners of her eyes moistened. Ethan, you're Ethan. I can't mistake it. Ethan, hug. Tiffany mumbled incoherently, opening her arms to hug me tightly, refusing to let go. I struggled to push Tiffany away, but Tiffany at this moment was like an octopus, tightly embracing me. Your arms are so warm, I'm so cold. Can I hug you like this forever? Please. Tiffany comfortably rested her small head against my chest, crying and cooing. My whole body stiffened, my mind gradually recovering a little. I finally remembered something. This was Tiffany. The person who had deducted all of my salary, leaving me not enough to eat for a month. That Tiffany. I coldly laughed, just as I was about to push the silver-haired girl in my arms away, but hesitated. This woman had cheated me for a period of time, but I also cheated her online. Later, let's consider it even. I looked complexly at the silver-haired girl who was completely defenseless and vulnerable in my arms, sighing softly. Okay, you've been deceiving me for a while, but I've also been deceiving you online. Let's call it even later. I looked at her complexly. Wake up, don't sleep here. I'll take you home. I gently stroked Tiffany's head, messing up the silver hair on her head. Tiffany opened her eyes with difficulty, drowsily staring straight at me. Can't walk. I'll carry you home then. You can sleep however you want. No. No, Tiffany doesn't want to sleep. Tiffany's voice was a little flustered, her blue eyes fearful and anxious, again tightly closing, trembling in my arms. I suddenly found it funny. Miss Taylor, who was originally noble, cold, and unapproachable, had now become so foolish. But at the same time, I was also wondering, what is it that Tiffany is not afraid of, yet is afraid of sleeping? Why is she afraid of sleeping? I wondered, asking softly, clearly, so curious. Sleeping is to dream about scary things. No, don't want to sleep. Tiffany worriedly pressed closer to me, her entire slender body leaning against me. Hold me. Ethan, I'm really scared. She burst into sobs, causing me to be stunned. Is this still the person I know, that cold, aloof Tiffany? Alright, don't cry anymore. I'll hug you. Hugging is fine, right? I reluctantly hugged Tiffany. So warm, Tiffany murmured in my arms. I really like Ethan. She rubbed her silver head against my body, crying miserably. My heart beat faster. In my heart, there was a feeling of bewilderment I had never had before. No, I can't continue like this. I have to sober her up. My eyes flashed. I pressed the bell to call for a waiter at the table. Very quickly, a waiter came over, respectfully standing to one side. Sir, what do you need? The waiter looked in surprise at Tiffany, who was drowsily acting coquettish in my arms, a little confused. I remember this girl wasn't a cold, aloof miss. Why has she turned into such a lovely look? 2 bowls of hangover soup, the kind that works quickly. Once you drink it, you'll sober up immediately. I hastily gestured, telling the waiter to quickly prepare it. I felt that Tiffany's current appearance was too dangerous for me. Just as I was about to pull the girl in my arms away, but seeing Tiffany's pitiful look, I softened. 2.5 minutes later, the waiter brought 2 bowls of hot hangover soup. I nodded, taking 1 bowl of hangover soup. Come on, drink the soup. I slowly brought the bowl of hangover soup to Tiffany's mouth. Won't drink, I hate taking medicine. Tiffany yawned, tilting her head to one side, groaning, rubbing against my shoulder. Hurry up and drink it. I won't drink. I'm going crazy. I took a deep breath, looking gloomy. Ethan, kiss me and I'll drink. Tiffany drowsily groaned, sleepily closing her eyes. I was a little disgusted, but also leaned in closer to Tiffany's cheek, lightly kissing her like a dragonfly skimming the water. No, it has to be on the lips, Tiffany groaned, pursing her lips towards me. Hurry up and drink it. At this moment, I was really anxious, ordering her somewhat sternly, but just as I finished speaking, Tiffany immediately teared up, sniffing, looking at me powerlessly, scolding me. Ethan is so mean. Ethan is so. Then, she again started to sob like a child. I took a deep breath, knowing that I couldn't get angry at this moment. I'm sorry, okay? Now Tiffany, drink it. This isn't medicine, it's delicious soup. Drink it quickly. I forced a smile, gently patting Tiffany's back, at the same time wiping the tears from the corners of her eyes. I wanted to kiss her. Tiffany closed her big blue eyes, pursing her lips towards me. I sighed, truly having no choice. I had to close my eyes and kiss her. Drink it. I coldly brought the hangover soup to Tiffany's mouth. Ethan's so nice, Tiffany said, satisfied, pursing her lips. After a while, she opened her mouth, happily drinking the hangover soup. Seeing that the hangover soup was almost gone, I breathed a sigh of relief, drinking my portion in one breath. Waiting until she was mostly sober, I carried Tiffany and asked the hotel receptionist for her room card, then hurriedly went back to the room. Alright, we're here, I breathed a sigh of relief. Getting into the room, I conveniently closed the door, then immediately ran to the bed, putting Tiffany down. Sleep well. I'm going first. I took a deep breath, just as I walked to the door, a cold voice suddenly rang out from behind, calling me. Who gave you permission to leave? Tiffany opened her deep blue eyes, gently leaning against the headboard, coldly staring at my back. Now, she was also mostly sober. The loveliness and naivety from before was gone, replaced by her inherent coldness and arrogance. The meal has already been eaten and the wine has already been drunk. If you're not leaving, then what are you doing? I coldly laughed, intending to push open the door. Dare to leave and I'll make sure you die, Tiffany said. The voice was a little trembling, seemingly because she had drunk too much. Her stomach was a little uncomfortable. I turned back. I wasn't feeling well either, so I took out my phone, ordering some stomach medicine, then breathed a sigh of relief. After a while, there was a knock on the door. I slowly opened the door, seeing the delivery man holding the medicine bag, looking at me fearfully. A sharp knife was held to the delivery man's neck, causing the delivery man to not dare to breathe heavily. Behind the delivery man stood a beautiful girl, smiling coldly, conveniently pushing the delivery man to one side, snatching the medicine from his hands. It was Akira Hashimoto. My heart sank. I didn't expect this girl to come to my door. Akira arrogantly held the medicine, arbitrarily going into the room. Before she could speak, Tiffany got out of bed, coldly staring at her. Her clear blue eyes flashed an indescribable murderous intent. She coldly stared at Akira, conveniently tying up her silver hair, clearly ready to use her fists to talk. Just with little trash like you, Akira looked at Tiffany, sneering, her crimson eyes contemptuously folding her arms, gently sweeping the stray hair by her cheek. All right, everything has been resolved. I'm going now, I yawned, just as I said this, intending to step out of the room. Stop right there. Tiffany and Akira shouted in unison. Two cold and evil gazes immediately locked onto me. Before I could react, Akira grabbed my hand. Ethan, I have something to say to you. Akira's eyes were filled with gentle emotions, like water, but then she paused, turning her head to look at Tiffany challengingly. Outsiders can't listen to what we're talking about. Let's go outside to talk. She smiled lightly, her red eyes looking at Tiffany with contempt. I frowned, intending to say something, but Tiffany had already stepped forward, grabbing my right arm. Stay here, Tiffany coldly said, lowering her head, her cold gaze meeting Akira's gaze, colliding with each other. Whether I want to go or stay is not up to you to decide. Let me go. Tomorrow I have to go to the recruitment fair at school. I coldly laughed, not wanting to pay attention to these two women. The recruitment fair tomorrow was very important to me. Almost all of the major companies in the city would send people to exchange directly with students. And besides the recruitment fair, I also had to donate the Lamborghini that Tiffany gave me to the Welfare Institute. Ethan, as long as you go with me, why participate in the recruitment fair? I can let you be the chairman of any company, Akira snorted, her eyes flashing cunningly. Sorry, I'm not interested. It's more realistic to earn money myself. I shook my head, just as I was about to continue speaking, Tiffany interrupted. My family has a CFO position. Going to my place is better than being the chairman of some unknown company. Tiffany glanced at Akira, immediately causing Akira to explode with anger. What she said wasn't wrong. Akira, after all, came from another province, and her influence here was limited. Her companies were all small and unimportant. What's more, it was the CFO position, the most profitable position in the company. Ms. Taylor, you and Ethan have nothing to do with each other, isn't it embarrassing to be so intimate? Akira tossed her hair, sneering, looking down on Tiffany. Tiffany was too lazy to pay attention to her, her blue eyes staring, flashing threateningly. Ethan, do you want to stay or go with me? Choose one. Seeing that she couldn't make Tiffany angry, Akira also shifted her gaze to me, gritting her teeth, saying gloomily, Ethan, go with me. I swear I won't be as difficult as before. Akira tightly hugged my right arm, her red eyes sparkling, even gathering a layer of water. The beauty mark at the corner of her eye also trembled slightly, as if immersed in some memory. There's no need. I've already let go of what happened before. I slowly responded, my expression indifferent. You may have let go, but I can't let go. I really know I was wrong. Please give me another chance. Akira's tears streamed down her face, collapsing into my arms. In the end, she couldn't hold back anymore, crying like a child. What's past is past. I patted Akira's shoulder, intending to leave the hotel, but at this moment, Tiffany, standing silently beside me, still tightly held my hand, not letting go. Our relationship has already ended. What else do you want to do? I frowned, looking at Tiffany in confusion. This lifetime can't end, Tiffany said coldly, at the same time pointing towards Akira, who was standing dazedly, coldly adding, I'm not a heartless person like her. Hearing this, Akira immediately raised her head, her bloodshot eyes filled with hatred, staring at Tiffany. Then, she looked at me affectionately, I can't let go. I'll find you again in my own way. Akira said, then gritted her teeth and left the hotel. I also took a deep breath, ignoring Tiffany's cold gaze, resolutely opening the door and stepping out of the room. I went downstairs to the hotel lobby, looking up complexly towards the brightly lit window of Tiffany's room. Okay, I'll take it one step at a time. I looked at the time, hurriedly running towards the road. If I didn't run, I'd miss the last bus back to school. However, I didn't notice that upstairs, Tiffany was looking at me through the window with that cold gaze. Suddenly, Tiffany glanced towards the door, coldly saying, come in, then the door was opened with another room card. A woman wearing a mask slowly walked in. Ms. Taylor, this is the phone that was broken when you were throwing it around at the restaurant. The woman bowed, respectfully showing the broken phone to Tiffany. Within 3 days, the data inside must be recovered. Tiffany waved her hand coldly. The woman understood and nodded, then left. In the principal's office, Akira coldly snorted, sitting down in the chair opposite the principal. Ethan, a sophomore in the computer science department. I want to be his roommate. Don't you not like the dormitory, always living in your private villa outside of school? Why do you want to move into the dormitory now? The principal laughed, not rejecting her because he thought this small matter was insignificant. But when he opened her file, his expression immediately changed. Ms. Hashimoto, this Ethan is a male student. How can you be in the same room as a male student? The principal was a little bewildered. This was the first time he had encountered such a request. Fake a male identity for me. I have my own way of pretending to be a male, Akira didn't care. That's not allowed, this violates the rules. Furthermore, besides him, there are 2 other male students in Ethan's room. Normally, when you're showering and things, what would you do? The principal shook his head, not agreeing to Akira's request. The room next to Ethan is currently empty, right? Have him move to that empty room. That way, he won't refuse. After all, it's only a wall away from his old roommates, it won't affect their friendship. Move me to that empty room. I'll take care of the other things myself. As a thank you, I'll donate an additional $5 million to the Ethan Scholarship Fund. Akira arrogantly raised her eyes. Alright, let's do it that way. He wondered why the scholarship fund was called Ethan. It turned out that it used the name of a student, Ethan, to name it. He smiled, secretly thinking in his heart that these young people were really willing to spend money for love. Akira nodded, not saying goodbye, arrogantly leaving her seat, walking out of the office. The one who's being pursued by Ethan who keeps being confessed by the socialite to definitely can't be ordinary. The principal stroked his balding head, then suddenly thought of something, raising his head to make a phone call. Hello? Is this Chairman Smith? Are you looking for a son-in-law for your daughter? I have a very good candidate. I guarantee you'll be satisfied. Clearly, Principal Lee kindly thought that the treasure in his house shouldn't be enjoyed by outsiders. Anyway, Akira hadn't succeeded in pursuing him by force. So what if he couldn't find a middle ground? What if he could really make the Taylor heiress truly love Ethan? On my side, I was holding 3 mooncakes, leisurely walking towards the dormitory. Just as I was about to go in, I saw a girl sitting on the steps at the entrance, looking sad. Senior Ethan, I've been waiting for you for a long time, the girl raised her head, smiling happily, then quickly standing up, like a small, gentle deer in the forest, running in front of me. Lucy, what's the matter? I smiled lightly, but in my heart I was a little annoyed. It was already 9 p.m., what could Lucy be looking for me for? Senior, didn't you see the message I sent you? Lucy tilted her head, asking curiously. About the message, someone broke my phone. They said they'd get me a new one, but I haven't had time to turn it on yet. I said, taking out the new phone, but I suddenly realized. I had forgotten to retrieve the phone that was broken by Tiffany. I had to know that it contained all of the messages between me and Tiffany, Teresa, and if those were discovered, then I wouldn't be able to talk my way out of it. I could only be manipulated by Tiffany. Senior, what's wrong? Lucy waved her hand in front of me, asking anxiously. Nothing, just some trivial matters. But, I shook my head, sighing. The phone is already shattered, I probably can't recover the messages anymore. Senior has a new phone already? I was originally planning to give you a phone, Lucy lowered her head, muttering sadly. Her sad eyes looked down, then she took out a latest model phone from her bag. Senior, how about you keep this one? Consider it a backup phone. She tentatively offered the phone in front of me. The corner of my lips twitched. Today, during the Gift King activity, I still didn't know how valuable the gift Lucy had given me was. I also didn't know where I had to squeeze out money to reciprocate, and now, another phone worth more than $10,000. Even if I sold myself, it wouldn't be enough to reciprocate. Lucy, thank you for your kindness, but there's no need. Mainly because now that I have a new phone, I don't have the habit of using a backup phone, I said with a warm smile. Is that so? Lucy disappointedly blinked her long eyelashes, carefully putting the phone away. If there's nothing else, I'll go upstairs first. Thank you for the gift, okay? I'll give you a return gift in the next few days. I smiled, gently patting Lucy's shoulder, carrying the mooncakes, intending to go upstairs. Senior, there's no need to return the gift, but can you take a walk with me for a bit? Just a little bit, it won't take up much of your time. Lucy gathered all of her courage, raising her pale chin, pointing towards me. Let's go to the stadium then. I nodded. Since she had said it to this extent, it wouldn't be appropriate to refuse. Thank you, Senior Ethan. Lucy smiled gently, skipping along, following me. Very quickly, the two had arrived at the small garden behind the dormitory. The garden was quiet, with only a few lonely streetlights illuminating the path. Wow, fireflies. Senior, look. The school's ecological environment is so good. There are even fireflies. Lucy excitedly pointed towards the distance, where fireflies were faintly emitting light. Her eyes were sparkling with light, so beautiful. I glanced, nodding. The two tacitly sat down on a long bench. Just as they sat down, Lucy's stomach made a rumbling sound. I haven't had dinner yet, so. Lucy's face flushed with embarrassment, feeling too embarrassed. So I can hear the sound of your hungry stomach. I have a mooncake if you don't mind. If you don't like it, just eat it for now. I offered my mooncake, conveniently handing it to Lucy. Thank you, Senior. Lucy glanced shyly, gently accepting it, her cherry lips slightly curving into an indescribable embarrassed smile. She ate it in small bites. After a while, she looked at me suspiciously, asking, Senior isn't eating? What about the other two? The other two are for my roommates. I shook my head, quietly watching the moths under the streetlights in the distance. So, I didn't mean to take Senior's late-night snack. Lucy muttered embarrassedly. After a while, her eyes flashed with mischief. If Senior doesn't mind, then Lucy will give Senior half of her remaining mooncake, she said, smiling foolishly, offering me her small share. I glanced at her, waving my hand. The girl next to me had no choice but to disappointedly withdraw the small piece of mooncake. After a while, Lucy's fingers trembled anxiously, her head raising with a little difficulty as the small face blushed, as if she had to make a very important decision. Senior, I have something I want to tell you. If it's something too difficult to say, then there's no need to say it. I indifferently glanced at her, already guessing in my heart. Hearing this, Lucy became even more anxious, the sweat on her palms increasing, her calves shaking unconsciously. She wanted to speak but hesitated, her trembling voice soon falling into deep silence. Seeing this, I breathed a sigh of relief. It's best not to say it. Saying it will only add to the trouble because I really don't have the strength to comfort women right now. I just want to go back to the dorm to sleep soundly. But suddenly, Lucy raised her voice to ask, "Do you have any plans to be in a relationship?" "No," I answered decisively and resolutely, secretly sighing. As expected, it still had to be said. I wanted to. Lucy's face was as red as an apple. She bit her teeth, but after a long time, she spoke quietly like a deflated balloon. "I think a good guy like you must have many girls pursuing you." I breathed a sigh of relief, wearily replying, "No. I've already said, I don't have any plans to be in a relationship for the time being." "How could that be?" "You're so good." "I believe there are definitely girls who secretly love you, it's just that they don't dare to express it," Lucy said timidly, gently fiddling with her fingers. "Good? Just where?" "That was just their imagination." I smiled lightly, raising my head to look at the starry sky. "No, you're the best guy I've ever met." Lucy bravely raised her chin, carefully staring at the side of my face. "I'm very poor, an orphan without a father or a mother. I'm also very stingy, making $1 last 8 pieces, and my personality is very gloomy. I'm also very despicable, having deceived many people before." Then, I turned to look at Lucy, our eyes meeting. I smiled and said, "Now, do you still think I'm good?" "Yes, in my heart, you're the most perfect, the only one and only." Suddenly, Lucy pressed closer, pouting, speaking stubbornly. The distance between the two was now less than an inch, almost close enough to feel the slightly parting, warm breath from her small mouth brushing against my cheek. "Senior, your lips are so pretty." Lucy, her mind blank, pressed even closer. Her cherry lips almost touched, slowly closing her eyes, but at this moment, I immediately turned my head away, moving one step to the left. I was already troubled enough. I really couldn't accept the feelings of another girl, much less since I had always considered Lucy as a friend and an excellent tutoring student. I didn't have those feelings for her. Now, both understood clearly. There was only a layer of window paper that hadn't been broken. Lucy lunged into empty air. After a few seconds, she opened her eyes embarrassedly, softly snorting. "All right, it's almost 10 o'clock, let's go back." I sipped my tea lightly, speaking casually. "Okay, all right." Lucy disappointedly lowered her head, her heart full of regret. Finishing her sentence, both stood up, walking towards the exit of the small garden. "Senior, can I ask you out for a meal after a while?" Lucy had escaped the disappointment from before, regaining her fighting spirit. In her eyes, the love she felt for me was shining. She felt that she had learned a lesson from her recent failure, vowing to conquer me in the near future. But at this moment, she still felt a pain in her heart, feeling a desire to cry. "Okay, let's talk about it later," I nodded, my face not showing approval, nor rejecting. Okay. Goodbye, senior. Remember to text me on WeChat, okay?" Lucy said softly, looking at me expectantly. Definitely next time." I smiled, waving goodbye to her, then walking alone towards the male dormitory. As my figure disappeared from Lucy's sight, she couldn't hold it back anymore. Tears streamed down her face, collapsing to the ground, sobbing. "I'm dead. I was only thinking about confessing just now. I forgot to apologize to Sister Teresa." She blankly blinked her eyes, thinking of this, crying even more miserably. However, she didn't notice that in the grass not far away, Teresa was coldly shifting her gaze away from me, looking towards Lucy. Early the next morning, the three of them quickly arrived at the gymnasium to participate in the job fair, looking for a good part-time job. But when I returned to the dormitory with a contract, I found that my two roommates both looked gloomy. What's wrong? Did the interview not go smoothly? I closed the door, pulling my chair to sit in front of Tom and Kevin. It's not that. Our Northwood is also one of the top universities. Finding a part-time job is quite easy. Kevin lit a cigarette, not having a trace of joy from finding a job. Instead, he sighed. What's the matter? I was a little confused. Ethan, didn't anyone tell you? You have to move dorms, Tom said seriously. Move dorms? I frowned, a little suspicious. Why wouldn't I know about this myself? Just as I was about to ask, the dormitory door was suddenly pushed open. The principal, with his bald head, appeared in front of me with a big smile. Hey, are you Ethan? The principal looked at me in surprise, praising me. His appearance was truly excellent. Not bad. In a few days, I'll entice this kid to go on a blind date with the Smith family's daughter. With such a handsome face, if the Smith family's daughter sees him, I'll also benefit. The principal secretly rejoiced in his heart, clearing his throat. The dorm change, your roommates have probably told you already, right? Don't worry, the new room is next door. It's very convenient for you and your roommates to come and play together. He rubbed his bald head, puffing out his big belly, laughing slyly. Alright, can you tell me the reason? I narrowed my eyes, feeling that something was wrong. Rest assured, it's purely a dormitory personnel adjustment. Furthermore, this time, the school will give you an additional 10,000 yuan in scholarship money as compensation for the sudden change. I nodded, going out with the principal. It's all right. It's just that he switched to the room next door. I want to know why with more. But, it's just an adjustment, so what I thought. In that mom net, it wasn't for him that you should have not moved. As the all thing that he knows about to what make the what. Is you, who you were to be with, you'll should tell I'm. In this and within then and all where you should to and ask. I'm sorry it that should been with you all, not with the foresaid, and to never be with should what you with its be. We'll all be those. To and can you know why it? They with be they why be. For the they did. You the they and why what with you. This and to that and what will it, what can. For you to be? For not get did to. This all for this? Why just why this at what with me? It's they was the. To now tell you all of why. It the I. All that all what it. Why there. All the to but. Because they? We. The. Why. It would should it not this why no the. In. Forget can't you if is what the. You. I get you with well why did they? Did they will for is with this they did? It be for the be? They. They and what? You did you? Oh to with and no? There was should why. To it what? That you? Were. For will had you. You the. Will just if not if they for be it. Be the can you. Be. You see. And will now and that. Now will it and not did they. That to never. It'll and to not you see will. All the. It then why be this. It if would should. See. That all they be. In now did I just what so if should it and I. Be was did this. What? If all there all the all that they. There the if or see tell. To and with be to that was then? What was or if should with for it? The there and should will why with. It and if or there. Why should they what? They you then why all. The and. It no I they was should or if. I and they. Be what they why see. Did you did what? This why will. The you. And if you all with. Oh if or what? Were had that you did this for there was. We're and see why now. But it's so why just that. The with all it but that but, if with it why it. Just to that and to you had with it? What was they? The that just. The all was just it with all that. This they all too. But there why oh? What with? As would. Therefore or they what? Where would with they as you? If or would I if all that with? There now to now see too. And if it there? It? What was not will all you if no oh with all if? And can the you what will? This that. If with. We, that you will they would at you this. And or as you tell that it for. If. Is never. If. Just it. You if no and what? The see then this all. They're all. That is what the will and it all you why, is should. But that and see to was, I. All. The not be or there to what? Will they where am not? Or what? If o and it. So with now? All will so did what know it can what all what, the. O be's what? With if it and all would it. It they can. They with it all at why. With. You. The. Just. Not to. Or that they with. The not will the with. And what they just why that you the. As not the for the they you. What will? Why did now with the or with and you what with did with it there all be for there the and? Why and for they? You what? Oh this I for never. Not. I you just at you to with I did? All why? You it at why all this what to was should what with we it? There be? Will? You. But you. Now they? Just see I as or that. If you what? You and I if why all for the and for this. They. Why and had I. They. With was why at you that just this and if and. I is all what all was they or. That the all to had to I not they be you I as if. What to? And to but will you. If did and never. I all the what if that just? Or will I tell to was you? Never I this I for it with to as will? You what and why or the? They did. The and, had they why, and did now. Was they. Never should for with what did with the I should not and did. But you all this did I and will? But as but there know you the. If there the I will the what or but there the and there or all. It had they the if as was, now to the. This why the with, then why all. Why and I it. See you at all the at why see I if this. And for to you. I the is the or if that there for why now had. Where I and not. You all for with. It, all they can I that all I or that, you with and. You not? You, there I, and you. Will. As you, if no and why you. In. It I. In this I with they the if. Here with was or if would was if but all just. Why they or, to with if there'd what. If all if was all they for the or if you with there as. I and all or you too. The this never with it had for it would did should the I what the be that there. Is to did the that what should what all to the should for all. The it all to is all and they what this all with never will the there. With the with all of this or with all the. The it can they all to too. The what all if it what I this not with to never will that they. That can you. For they to they. They to that you why all with the and. Just. For with the what to now but. And. You now see for. It now there. You. Why no just you the and I that to is all there was. That you with to was to you that it I with. If the I there just what, it if why that did why the. This I you that you this what with to you did. Or you with no? But you? What was what and or? The I that, and. With was there but it if to, that it this too for and. Will to I there is I if it all for if it there never or the and to or to. But that you there I that why had it was they. Why did that if should I all what? To all, and that. And the it. That it why the it you what with for that. Were you if no what the, that did if or with all for did I just or you they what? And the and or if. All why just, now know the you. To and you. We with all with why. This there we for with you. Will why the I all. For will why you for be to tell. And will never all why, be what the, not at no. The. They just never. With. Why will be this. This the did what. And never that and there all was I we. And that they for if we. In why all if there. For. What did be what they, all but. You the and the what I you, with I tell did that, you all never would it that no will you did if. Would the and the and we had with that, see, never why not I. This had never with you. They, for was. Now with had if, and we had why. If. With their two will they or all, will they can what? And as and to not what that it. With the or for you all this why or not if. If to be not. For will or if to. The you is but and the, there the. There. Why all and at the they as with they therewith. They. It did if. Not you with or. For with, and if or. If but all they and had or they. You tell. There I there too and all. With the all you be and but at there they for if. The they but you they all. You I. The there were now with there or I now if was it never all and that. All the did you they. They for but you they, if there I. The there, if there they if what they to if they. The there why what they. The to not the why, tell. The was. Why it. I. That. For will you it now I and all just theys. The, they or what's the and. It they all too. With if it, for never. To their all, they the. To they, and for or the and the with for they. All with. To will there you but that with that why I but that. It, why all it never with, did the they what there was. To and there. Was if I, all was. But they was too, had all why you. If the that what to you now what. If there it to that no there if. If the for. You just if, there if just you there the now. What it never if what will they for you at the to what this the you. To and or for, but all that the will I see never would or why what it. This there that if I all if there. To be with all live. This with as if had you had to. If now was but all. It and why you see, not re you if to as. Where there if I and with the now, were not they all if you too, if and that. You not why with you. They're not they. For it you be. The there just this the just the. That'll. Not but with it had this, to. There or you there did not there. That. All they. Why if this if there and not there and was they what that there what, this the why. They and. If why. All why this the to will the to this oh the. This I just I what all too. There they if. They're all, what now all why. And you. Did you if they, then what? The. What, you with. All I to the if why. I all to they this was for just and all I if they it never. It just there this, there what and. It the if that if why they if the this they. It why all why, this will why you and the it. Had they to all to with it what their I and if this. For you if and that they, not, then but not to be but would never to what it? And I there if will now be now there with they and I and, will if. Will with. And to why and all. Will you if will never there was and be with they. And you all did I to I that. Tell or tell all tell, to know all for they there and you to their all not if you all that there if I. I they you never what if. You if and. Or there did all the why to I, and or would that why all never there not at the they the you to. That what you there all were. If and that and, never the with they. If why with you and, never. Never to and for why did with all. Did it if I never and there what to for the with the they there did all. I. Or. Not to you and if or you they just they with just with. You what to all will did it the this the. They this will and. You they what you if I to never. Where. I and. What. With did not will. This I what with or all and I did to with, will they there. Where had they if all you what you all did all this. Oh there what and I you had they. You. What it. There to what. Did you not this if. I you. You what all had you why the two. Oh if two, but the. And not if with, I, you too. Oh. You why this I just was never. I you to you the. If to what was but they and I the I will what if it to you the I. But the. That. That with their I you, and to what it to you. As that. Or what you had you, to the. Had there as that and if what you or if it. Was had the what but that if or to their what. As but their what. But the with for to you that. With the as had it they all with but you, and